In 1971, above a pickle factory in Connecticut, Joe Montgomery was not designing racing bikes, he was sewing camping gear and dreaming bigger. Within 20 months, Cannondale was selling to more than 2,500 dealers with a product called the Bugger. So how did a scrappy accessories startup spark an engineering revolution that changed cycling forever? The secret history starts with a train station, some radical thinking, and the cash to gamble on the impossible. Cannondale's first chapter began in a place most people would overlook, a cramped loft perched above a pickle factory in Wilton, Connecticut. In 1971, Joe Montgomery and his small circle of partners set up shop in this unlikely space, drawn less by comfort than by proximity to the Cannondale train station just down the road. The name they chose came straight from that station's weathered sign, a nod to the local stop that marked the edge of their world and the start of their ambitions. Inside the loft, the air carried the sharp tang of brine from the factory below. There were no polished showrooms or gleaming machines, just battered workbenches, rolls of fabric, and the steady hum of sewing machines. Montgomery was not a bike builder yet, but a tinkerer and dreamer, surrounded by a jumble of sketches for camping gear, panniers, and wild ideas that reached well beyond the tools at hand. His vision was shaped by necessity, making do with what was available, and reimagining what a small company could become. Resourcefulness became the company's signature. Early on, Montgomery and his team stitched together prototypes late into the night, testing each design by hand. They built their reputation one bag at a time, earning trust from local dealers and outdoor enthusiasts. Cannondale, name born from a train station and a sense of possibility, would soon stand for something much larger than its humble beginnings. In that pickle factory loft, the outlines of a new kind of cycling company began to take shape. The Bugger trailer rolled onto the scene as Cannondale's first true commercial breakthrough. Inspired by a bike trip where Joe Montgomery watched his son struggle with heavy gear, the team set out to design a trailer that could carry loads without weighing down the rider. Ron Davis engineered a Lexan torsion spring hitch to mount under the seat, and John Wistrand handled the cloth and cargo design. The result was a lightweight, durable trailer that could handle the rough edges of the road and the unpredictability of adventure. At the New York Bicycle Show, dealers crowded around the Bugger, but it was the accessory bags that drew the biggest orders. Within 6 months, Cannondale had become the world's largest maker of lightweight bicycle bags. With over 2,500 dealers signed on in less than 20 months, the company's catalog grew quickly. Panniers, handlebar bags, backpacks, and tents joined the lineup, each one stitched and assembled with the same care as those first prototypes in the pickle factory loft. Profits from these early products didn't just keep the lights on, they built a foundation of manufacturing know-how. Sourcing fabric, managing supply chains, and fine-tuning production lines gave the team the skills they would need for more ambitious projects. Every bag and trailer that left the workshop helped fund the next experiment, pushing Cannondale closer to the day they would take on the challenge of building an entirely new kind of bicycle. In 1983, Cannondale took a risk that would set it apart from every other bike maker in America. The company's first bicycle, the ST500, rolled out with a frame made entirely of aluminum, a material that most riders and manufacturers still viewed with suspicion. At the time, steel was the standard. It was familiar, trusted, and easy to work with. Aluminum, on the other hand, was lighter but notoriously difficult to weld and often dismissed as too brittle for serious cycling. Yet Cannondale's engineers believed they could make it work. They used oversized tubing to boost stiffness and TIG welding techniques that were more at home in aerospace than in bike shops. The ST500 was not just a technical exercise, it was a complete sport touring bike offered at a price that put it within reach of everyday riders. Reports from the era highlighted its quick handling and noticeable weight savings compared to steel competitors. Riders talked about how the bike felt more responsive on climbs and less fatiguing over long miles. The gamble paid off almost immediately. Dealers who had once stocked Cannondale's bags and trailers now found themselves fielding questions about the new aluminum bike. The ST500 proved that aluminum could deliver real-world benefits, not just in theory, but on the road, opening the door for a new chapter in American bicycle design. Aluminum was not just a material choice at Cannondale, it became a philosophy. The mid-1980s, as most bike makers clung to steel, Cannondale's engineers began codifying what would become the Cannondale Advanced Aluminum Design, CAAD. The idea was simple but radical. Use oversized aluminum tubes to create frames that were not only lighter but also stiffer and more responsive than anything else on the market. The team discovered that achieving this required more than swapping materials. They developed custom jigs and proprietary welding rigs, adapting aerospace techniques to handle the unique demands of aluminum. Each frame was aligned and welded in-house, with tolerances so tight that even small errors could ruin a build. Engineers like Todd Patterson led the charge, refining tube shapes and wall thicknesses to balance strength and ride quality. The CAAD system wasn't just about bold claims, it was a repeatable process that could deliver consistent performance for a road bike or a mountain model. And this engineering discipline set Cannondale apart, laying the groundwork for a new era where American bikes could compete at the highest levels of racing and innovation. By the late 1980s, Cannondale's ambition stretched far beyond a single touring bike, and the company began rolling out a broader lineup determined to reach every kind of cyclist. The first wave saw the arrival of dedicated road bikes, each one built with the same oversized aluminum tubing that had drawn attention to the ST500. These models offered lighter frames and sharper handling, quickly finding fans among riders who crave speed and efficiency. At the same time, Cannondale entered the rapidly growing world of mountain biking. The SM500, released in 1984, featured a high bottom bracket and rugged construction ready for trails that traditional road bikes could not handle. More models soon followed, including the R400 for road racing and the SM600, which introduced a suspension fork for tackling rougher terrain. Each new release was a calculated step designed to prove that Cannondale's engineering could stand up to the demands of both city streets and mountain trails. As the catalog expanded, so did the company's presence in bike shops and cycling magazines. Dealers who once stocked only bags and trailers now displayed rows of Cannondale bikes, each promising a new kind of ride. With every model, Cannondale moved closer to the front lines of competitive cycling, laying the groundwork for its next leap, proving its technology in the heat of elite races. Cannondale's aluminum frames didn't just turn heads in bike shops, they began winning at the highest levels of the sport. In the 1990s, the red jerseys of the Seiko team flashed across European roads, with Mario Cipollini leading the charge. His victories in sprint finishes, powered by Cannondale's signature stiffness and lightweight, sent a clear message: the era of steel was over. Cipollini's stage wins at the Giro d'Italia and other major races put Cannondale on the map for riders who demanded speed and reliability. The brand's reputation for performance grew with each finish line crossed. Off-road, the blue and yellow of the Volvo Cannondale mountain bike squad became a fixture on podiums around the world. Riders like Alison Sidor and Tinker Juarez racked up World Cup titles and national championships, piloting bikes that handled rough terrain with precision. In total, the team collected dozens of World Cup wins and multiple World Championship titles, proof that Cannondale's technology could thrive in the mud and chaos of elite mountain biking. These victories did more than fill trophy cases. They transformed Cannondale from a bold experimenter into a name trusted by racers everywhere. Aluminum bikes now dominate the global market, a standard that began as Cannondale's bold experiment. Every ride today traces back to that disruptive spark. Innovation still defines the cycling world, but the real race is for what comes next. Thanks for riding through history with us. Share your thoughts below.